Everyone, it's Crystal here. So here are 3 things that I know will help you because they've helped me. But more so, I've seen them change the whole environment of a relationship. So hashtag if you're watching live or hashtag replay if you're watching replay. So you've been in a relationship and there's highs and lows, ups and downs, good and bad. And yet you find yourself always falling back into these subtle patterns of perhaps arguing or pulling away, or finding yourself extremely reliant on that person, finding yourself needing them all the time to be in their presence, for them to give you full attention all the time. And you're finding that there's this discord, this disconnect in your relationship where you are not able to resolve things fully, and that you guys are playing small, put it that way. And that there's much more richness to this relationship, but you keep pulling back or pulling away, and it's not growing. It's the same. And we don't want things to stay the same because life is all about change. It's changing all the time. So in fact, we actually can't stay the same. But we do sometimes when we don't know how to evolve with the relationship, when we've been with this person in this way for a long time, and we have maybe dependency issues with each other, and it's been this way for quite some time and it's comfortable. And we don't know how to bring it to the next level. Well, these 3 tips will certainly help you mature your relationship. And if you haven't tried already to really get to know thyself, then this video is really going to help unpack how that maturity can greatly impact your relationship. So maybe you've tried to journal and you've done the journaling work. You know the things that are bothering you inside, but you just can't seem to change them. Or you've gone to seek counseling or advice from somebody, but you can't apply it. You know, it sounds good, sounds great, but to apply it to your life is impossible. Or maybe you have had moments of great bliss and pleasure with this person, but all of a sudden something brings you back down and you guys lose that connection, you lose that touch. So here's what's going on, is that there are usually things operating within the background that we aren't even aware of yet, that is causing us to see these repetitive patterns in our relationships. So the first thing that I always encourage people to do is really look deep inside on what open wounds are still there, are still present. Some open wounds that you haven't closed at, you haven't attended to yet, are still actually in the background causing some actions of yours to still show up. So for instance, let's talk about maybe you're in the bedroom and you guys are just about to get hot and, ready for having a little tussle in bed. But you find yourself pulling back, you find yourself uncomfortable. There's definitely something there. Something that made you feel insecure with yourself. Something that's shying you away from fully letting go, fully expressing, fully being in the moment. Your mind is somewhere else while your body is right there. And so there's a lot of insecurities that we carry into our relationships, unbeknown to us, that happened deep in our childhood. Maybe not even that extremely significant traumatically, but there's still some things that we are relating to in our mind in that very moment where we are supposed to be connected with our partner. There are a lot of insecurities that we do not attend to because we haven't given it opportunity to be healed, to be changed, to be shifted, to be cleared outside of our psyche. So at times where we know, yes, this is what we want, we pull back and we fall back into our insecurities and the way we feel about ourselves, judging deeply, allowing those things to be the focal point in our mind rather than what is presently in front of us, what we are engaging in right now. So I really strongly suggest really finding out what are those wounds that are still open, that are in the relationship without you really even being aware of. Maybe some past hurt from your partner. Maybe some past hurt from your parents that made you feel unloved, and you still have carried that notion underlying because of the dependency issues that you have with this person. It's underlying. Second thing I want to talk about, shifting your baseline. Because right now your baseline is at a certain line. And that's why you keep rebounding when you have those incredible moments. You know, you're on vacation, everything's good, and you come back home and you have a big argument. Things are just bad. You know, these are the things that we want to look at is why. Why do we sabotage? Why do we do this to our relationship when we just had a great time with one another? So we want to shift the baseline. We want to learn how to manage our stress, how to manage our thoughts, how to manage our emotions. We want to understand ourselves on a deeper level than what we are surfacely feeling and thinking. There's always something much deeper in our psyche that we are just not aware of in the moment, because we're in the heat of the moment. If you've ever heard that saying, when you're in the heat of the moment, you aren't thinking. It's just whatever is conscious right now in your awareness. But there's a lot more happening in the background, you know, because after you've had that situation, you have moment to process what's happened. You're like, oh, actually, I was feeling like this, or I was thinking about this, and man, this went off the deep end. We definitely didn't need to go there. But when we're in the heat of the moment, things happen. So we really want to reset the baseline. So when we do go on that vacation, we have a new baseline when we come back with our partner or in our relationship, and we don't divert back down to those ways. We know how to listen to our emotions, and perhaps, you know what? You've learned some things in your past and you're bringing it into your present now. Things that were modeled in your family when you were younger, your parents' relationship, past relationships that you've been in, and perhaps you are modeling them without even realizing. I will be the first to admit. Hello, everybody. So also, the last thing I want to talk about is really getting to the core of knowing yourself, knowing what triggers you, knowing what really, you know, touches those buttons, presses those buttons in you. Because when you can get really clear on who you are, what's within you, and all of those things that do bother you, we can work through them, but we can definitely shift them so they're no longer a problem. And that's how we build healthy boundaries, because boundaries are not like an electric fence where we want to keep people out. Boundaries is to help bring people in to our circle and teach them how to treat us. And so those boundaries help keep people in check, right? Like, no, I don't like when you tickle me like that. It just doesn't feel good. You know, my husband always says, don't tickle me. I don't like that. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I don't like being tickled either. Like, why am I tickling you? You know, like, he doesn't like that. But we have to learn these small nuances, these quirks within us, so we are able to really know ourselves deeply, and then be able to share that with people so they understand, so we can connect and really meet each other's needs in a deeper way and grow a very healthy, sustainable relationship where we commit to one another, to helping each other become the best versions of ourselves. And that's the purpose of the relationship. Not only to love, but help each other grow into the best versions of ourselves. So I hope these 3 tips resonated with you. And yes, it's going to require some work. It's going to require some heavy lifting on your end. And it's going to require a mutual commitment between you two, being like, yeah, I'm down. Like, are you? You know, are you down to work on yourself? Because I'm down to work on myself. And together, this union is much more stronger. It's much stronger, much more rich, and truly helping you live a life that you would love till the last time we open our eyes together. Yeah, it certainly requires work. And you know what? Got to do the work. I'm doing the work every single day. And you know what? I just want to encourage people to do the work because relationships are key in our life. It's what makes a great life. Without them, we certainly wouldn't be able to have them. Hope you're able to get some value out of that today. I'll see you soon.